In December 2010, an anonymous 13-year-old understudy at Roosevelt Middle School in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, was set under residence capture by one of his educators, Ms. Delyn Woodside, in light of the fact that he composed on a paper with an indelible marker, and it drained onto his work area. Ms. Woodside guaranteed that the anonymous kid had additionally composed around his work area with the marker. An official of the Oklahoma City Police Department took the kid to an adolescent confinement place. A representative for Roosevelt Middle School expressed that the area will examine the episode after school had continued from winter break. The kid's capture had nothing to do with the way that he composed around his work area with a marker. The issue was the marker. Mandate 35-202 of Oklahoma City makes it illicit for anybody to be in control of splash paint or indelible marker on private property without earlier authorization. The law was passed to keep spray painting specialists from making spray painting on private property, yet it appears to be over the edge that a 13-year-old can be captured over it. In November 2010, Frenchman Stephen Sage was hours from getting married to his Hong Kong sweetheart, Man Sin Ma, when his folks managed against the marriage. Sage's folks had the option to drop the wedding on account of an old French law went in 1803 that permitted guardians and grandparents to overrule the wedding of their youngsters and grandkids. Initially, Sage's folks guaranteed they contradicted the marriage since Mandy was just wedding their child to increase French nationality. In court, they asserted Mandy was a Chinese government agent. The court verified that Sage could wed Mandy, since his folks had no substantial purpose behind contradicting the marriage. The Lese Majeste law of Thailand denies anybody from offending the Thai illustrious family. The law is questionable in Thailand, where it has been utilized to chase political rivals. In any case, it turns out to be progressively dubious the second we understand the ruler's pooch is viewed as a piece of the regal family, and any individual who affronts the canine can be rebuffed under the law. In 2015, a Thai man remained under the steady gaze of a shut court and looked down to 37 years detainment for offering sarcastic remarks about the ruler's pooch. The canine being referred to was a mutt called Thongdaeng, copper. It was the most loved of the late King Bhumipol Adulyadej. Ruler Bhumipol cherished copper so much that he composed a book about the creature. The book was later made into a vivified film that turned into the second most elevated film industry worker in its time of discharge. The blamed, then Acorn Siripayan, as far as anyone knows, made some Facebook posts where he ridiculed Copper, King Bhumipol, and a progressing military defilement case. Nobody recognizes what then Acorn posted about Copper, since rehashing it would be a demonstration of rehashing the wrongdoing. Thailand's control laws likewise implied that papers couldn't print whatever then Acorn apparently posted, either. The worldwide version of the New York Times sold in Thailand left the space that should contain the alleged affront blank. At 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. consistently, radio broadcasts, TV stations, and amplifiers all over Thailand begin playing the Thai national anthem. Everybody is relied upon to prepare for action at that point. Individuals sitting will rise, individuals strolling will stop, and everything will halt until the hymn is finished. In certain spots, individuals can in any case be captured for not halting what they're doing while the song of praise plays. The open having of the Thai song of devotion is impact of a few laws presented by Prime Minister Plaek Phibun Songkram in 1932. Phibun requested that the national anthem be played at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. consistently and that everybody prepare for action until it was finished. Phibun additionally requested that all Thais know the hymn by heart, eat with spoons and forks, wear shoes, and dress in Western design. They were likewise expected to eat a limit of 4 times each day. In 2007, some resigned armed force officers suggested that the law necessitating that everybody stop while the song of praise was being played be altered to incorporate vehicles. That way, vehicles would likewise grind to a halt until the hymn was finished. The National Legislative Assembly expressed that the proposed correction could create turmoil and set up a board to investigate it. In 2012, the legislature of Greece presented Public Health Decree 39A, a dubious law that allows the police to capture individuals on doubt of being HIV positive and test them without wanting to. Anybody discovered constructive will have their photos and individual subtleties distributed in the papers. They can likewise lose their positions and be ousted from their homes all of a sudden. The law was passed in 2012, after Greece saw a spike in new HIV diseases. Somewhere in the range of 2011 and 2012, it encountered a 200% expansion in new HIV cases. The spike was accepted to be the consequence of enormous joblessness, tranquilizer misuse, and a cut in the spending plan for HIV anticipation programs. Nonetheless, the legislature favored pursuing shadows as opposed to tackling the issue from the root. In 2012, police gathered together many ladies and tried them. 17 tried positive. The legislature distributed their subtleties and pictures in the papers and on the internet. The legislature included that they were whores, despite the fact that there was no proof to demonstrate such. Regardless of whether there was, it was untrustworthy. Biting gum has been prohibited in Singapore since 1992. The boycott was a piece of the strategies presented by Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew to transform Singapore into a first world nation. The law was passed in light of the fact that individuals were enamored with staying their bit gum on asphalt and train entryways. This frequently made issues, particularly on the train entryways. During a meeting with Lee in 2000, Peter Day of the BBC referenced that biting gum could advance imaginative reasoning. Lee expressed that biting gum was out and out a demonstration of devilishness. He included that any individual who felt he was unable to think or be innovative without biting could simply bite a banana. Singapore loosened up the boycott in 2004, when the administration allowed drug specialists and dental specialists to sell clinical biting gum. This implies biting gum darlings need a clinical remedy to purchase gum. Be that as it may, sightseers are permitted to bring restricted measures of biting gum into the nation for individual use. In the event that there is one spot individuals are well on the way to become inebriated, it is a bar. So it is fairly unexpected that Alaska passed a law forbidding individuals from becoming inebriated in bars. The law was presented after the state government acknowledged alcoholics perpetrated most of violations in Alaska. Alaskan cops took to authorizing the law in 2012. Casually dressed cops visited irregular bars to discover alcoholic benefactors. When they presumed somebody was flushed, they called different cops to make the capture. Barkeeps weren't saved, either, since they could likewise be captured for offering liquor to an alcoholic individual. Since it's absolutely impossible of guaranteeing that somebody was smashed, cops just captured individuals who were spewing, tumbling off stools, or outright comprising an aggravation. Tennessee has a law denying occupants from imparting their Netflix passwords to anybody. The law doesn't have any significant bearing just to Netflix, however, to each diversion site that requires membership. The law is to some degree amusing, since Netflix permits clients to impart their passwords to up to 4 individuals. The law is anything but another one. It is really an update of a previously existing law to forestall satellite TV membership robbery. Obviously, the update was upheld by the Recording Industry Association of America, which was worried about individuals wrongfully sharing music. While the law is focused at programmers who sell Netflix login subtleties and supporters who send their logins to an excessive number of individuals, lawmakers concur that guiltless clients can be captured for violating the law. Wrongdoers who spent $500 worth of the administration could be hammered with a $2,500 fine and a time of detainment, while guilty parties who go above $500 will get increasingly genuine punishments. In Singapore, associating with another person's Wi-Fi problem area without consent could sack you 3 years detainment and a fine of 10,000 Singapore dollars. The law is a piece of Singapore's Computer Misuse and Cybersecurity Act, which thinks about such conduct as hacking. In 2006, 17-year-old youngster Gerald Tangialuo turned into the main individual to be captured and indicted for utilizing another person's Wi-Fi without authorization. He was not sent to jail since he was underage. Rather, he got 1.5 years probation, some portion of which he was to spend at home. He was prohibited from utilizing the internet while the probation kept going. The adjudicator expressed the boycott was important on the grounds that Gerl was likewise dependent on the internet and web-based gaming. Germany has more than 82 million individuals, which is about a fourth of the number of inhabitants in the United States. However, it is simply 3.7% the size of the US. This implies Germany has bunches of individuals packed in restricted space. One of the outcomes of having such a large number of individuals in a little space is clamor. Heaps of clamor. To neutralize this, Germany presented Ruhezeit. Ruhezeit decides certain times when individuals are relied upon to not make clamor. The time shifts from state to state, however, is for the most part from 8:00–10:00 p.m. until 6 a.m. the following day. A few states additionally watch Ruhezeit between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. each evening. In any case, all states watch Ruhezeit during the entire of Sundays and open occasions. Commotion is carefully taboo during Ruhezeit. Nobody is permitted to cut their yards, fire up their vehicles, play uproarious music, or even utilize the clothes washer in the event that they live in a loft. Ruhezeit has prompted some exceptionally fascinating lawful issues. At the point when one neighbor whined that the frogs in his neighbor's lake upset him around evening time, the court concluded that frogs are a piece of nature and that the upset neighbor ought to get earplugs. At the point when another griped that his neighbor's pooch yapped excessively, the court decided that the canine should bark for close to 30 minutes per day. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.